Just stand.
Let me tell you, these chairs are dangerous.
These chairs move.
All right, guys, so it's a new day, which means there's a new controversy that the left is upset about, okay? And this time, they're upset with Miss Lauren Boebert, who spoke out during Joe Biden's State of the Union address, in which, you know, Joe Biden was talking about Afghanistan, but failed to mention the 13 brave soldiers and heroes that were lost during the botched withdrawal from that country, right? And Lauren Boebert decided to speak up for those brave soldiers who lost their lives during his speech, because he didn't mention it. And the mainstream liberal media got pissed, okay? The White House got pissed, everybody got pissed, and now they're attacking Lauren Boebert, saying that she was being disrespectful during the ceremony, okay? And one meltdown in particular is pretty noteworthy, which comes from Whoopi Goldberg on The View, right? As you know, she seems to be pretty upset about this, and I find it very, very, very interesting that Whoopi is the one that's trying to talk and to be upset about things right now, considering some of the things she said recently in the past that got her suspended from the show. So I'm gonna react to that. But first, I want to go ahead and play a video of what happened at the State of the Union and Lauren Boebert's explanation for why she did what she did, so that we can get a full understanding of what happened before we get into Whoopi's response. Take a look.
And they come home, many of the world's fittest and best trained warriors in the world, never the same. Headaches, numbness, dizziness, a cancer that would put them in a flag-draped coffin. I know. One of those.
That woman, Colorado Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, joins me now. Congresswoman, you got an enormous amount of heat. You were smeared in the media for breach of decorum. Why did you speak out during this speech as you did?
Laura, it is never wrong to stand up and speak out for moms and dads who lost their children. And I want to remind everyone who may be concerned about me speaking up at the State of the Union that Joe Biden was 100% responsible for the deaths of the 13 brave service members we lost in Afghanistan. And last night, he took zero responsibility for it. So when Joe Biden started talking about flag-draped coffins, I got fired up. My mind went straight to the 13 soldiers that died in Afghanistan. The mother of one of those heroes lives in my district. She told me Joe Biden killed her son. So you're darn right I spoke up. And if I could redo last night, I would absolutely do it again. The left, Laura, they got upset. They attacked me for it. That's fine. I can take it. But I will always speak the truth about our southern border, the truth about corruption, the truth about bad Democrat policies, and the truth about Joe Biden funding Russia's war by buying their oil. And I am proud to have mentioned these 13 brave men and women, because the media would have given Joe Biden a complete pass on ignoring them at the State of the Union.
All right, guys, so when I first saw that / heard that at the State of the Union address, I was like, you know, I'm not necessarily sure if that was the classiest thing to do at that moment, right? But once I actually heard Lauren Boebert's explanation for why she said it and just thought about it a little bit more, I decided, I was like, you know, again, not necessarily the classiest thing, but I definitely understand why she did it if you understand the context of the situation, right? Joe Biden is talking about Afghanistan, okay? And we all know what happened in Afghanistan with the botched withdrawal, okay? And for whatever reason, when he's talking about Afghanistan, he's also trying to throw his son into the mix as well too, right? That's what he was kind of getting at when he was talking about, you know, the headaches, the numbness. You know, his son may have gotten his brain cancer from being overseas and inhaling toxic fumes that, you know, these soldiers do inhale during these wars and being stationed overseas. Okay, now Joe Biden, you know, it's kind of messed up, but Joe Biden has been using his son as kind of a shield from criticism in regards to the whole Afghanistan thing, right? Because back when the Afghanistan withdrawal was happening and he botched it and these 13 soldiers died, the parents of these soldiers, right, the Gold Star families, they literally were complaining about the fact that Biden kept talking about his son, right? He seemed to be more focused on his son than their sons and daughters, okay? And that was a whole big controversy in and of itself. So during the State of the Union address, when he's talking about Afghanistan, he's not necessarily addressing the botched withdrawal and what happened there, the fact that the Taliban took over that country after we put 20 years of blood, sweat, and tears into that country. He's talking about flag draped coffins, but not talking about the 13 soldiers that died. I kind of see where she's coming from, okay? I kind of see where she's coming from, right? I think everybody can agree that, hey, you know, that might not be the classiest thing to do at the time, but listening to her explanation, I'm like, you know what? She kind of has a point, right? All things considered, okay? Because Biden does have a tendency to use his son as a shield against criticism. When it's like, listen, I feel bad for your son and the fact that he died the way he died, right? I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But you can't keep using him as a way to avoid talking about and addressing what happened in Afghanistan and the failures there, okay? Because ultimately, he didn't die in Afghanistan. He didn't die in the line of duty. Right? He died from a terrible cancer, and that's bad, but you can't keep using that as a scapegoat. So with that being said, I understand where she's coming from. Now, on the Whoopi, okay, and her little rant here, right, against Lauren Boebert, I found it to be interesting because, again, Whoopi just got in some trouble for her comments about the Holocaust, in which she clearly shows that she really doesn't even understand the Holocaust and why it happened and some of the basic but important dynamics of what happened, okay? And I find it interesting how she comes out against Lauren Boebert the way that she does, almost as if Whoopi's out here trying to redeem herself for her own ignorant comment. So let's actually get into this.
This is Lauren. Oh, Lauren Boebert. Now, you know, don't talk about the military unless you really want to talk about the military. You know, you can't do what they do. That's why we revere them, because they...
Okay, so I don't know what she's getting at here, because Lauren Boebert is not disrespecting the military anyway. She's not talking down about the military. She's not talking bad about military. She's actually really trying to honor the military. That's really what her whole thing is. She's like, Biden's not doing enough to honor the fallen soldiers in the military. That's actually what she's doing. She's trying to bring more attention to the sacrifices of the military. So I don't really know what Whoopi is talking about here. I don't know where this is coming from. She's acting like Lauren was trying to disrespect the military when she was actually trying to do the exact opposite.
They do the stuff we can't do. And the minute you poop on them like the last guy did.
She didn't poop on them. Again, she fundamentally misunderstands what Lauren Boebert was saying as much as she fundamentally misunderstands the Holocaust.
Talking about those Gold Star families, talking about Mr. McCain as not being a hero.
Well, okay, if you want to go there, that's fine. But, you know, first of all, those stories that you're talking about with Trump, they're unsubstantiated, right? They're just rumors. There's no proof that Trump actually said that. Now, we do have evidence that he said the things that she's saying that he said about John McCain. Yeah, he definitely said those things. But when it comes to the whole Gold Star families thing, allegedly, that was on video. Right? And that video has not been released. And trust me, if Trump actually said that, the video would have been released. Okay, so I'm going to just chalk that up as that's just hearsay. And until the video comes out that he actually said that they allegedly have, then again, that's just hearsay. There's no evidence that he actually said those things. But we actually have video evidence of Biden calling military members stupid bastards.
Understanding what you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill, and two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards. Notwithstanding what you may hear about me, I have incredibly good judgment. One, I married Jill, and two, I appointed Johnson to the academy. I just want you to know that. Just clap for that, you stupid bastards.
Okay, we actually have that on camera. Okay, so if you want to talk about somebody being disrespectful to the military, saying disrespectful things about the military, we can go there because Biden is on camera doing that. You're talking about rumors of stuff Trump said that I mean, there's no evidence that he actually really said those things.
The hell do you think you are, little girl?
Little girl, right? Are you a big girl, Whoopi? Right? Because Lauren Boebert is a grown woman. Okay, so you calling her a little girl, where are you getting that from? Are you talking about her stature, right? Her height, the fact that she's not, you know, a very large woman like you are, right? Is that what she's getting at here? Again, I just find this to be fascinating how Whoopi is the one to get upset about what she deems to be ignorant comments. I find it fascinating, and she responds with her own ignorant comments.
Who do you think you are? You know, you don't have to like this president to be respectful of him talking about the military and his son who died. You don't have to like him, but you must be respectful. You gotta be.
Yeah, you know, listen, here's the thing, man. Whoopi is just not the one to talk, right? I think that Whoopi should just sit this one out. Sit this one out, Whoopi, okay? Because you're not the one to really talk. And what I find to be fascinating is for how upset the mainstream liberal media is with Lauren Boebert for her comments while Joe Biden was talking about his son. There doesn't seem to be any questions or people being upset about Nancy Pelosi and what she was doing, right? And her posture while Joe Biden was talking about this very, very, very sensitive issue, as it seems that Nancy Pelosi was a little giddy when Joe Biden was talking about this subject, right? She almost seemed happy, almost like she wanted to celebrate or something like that, right? That's what it seemed like just looking at her posture during Biden's speech, right? But who knows? Maybe she just wanted to grab a drink, right? And that's what she was thinking about is, you know, getting herself a drink after Biden's speech. So I find it interesting how that is being looked over, right? But Lauren Boebert's comments are being, you know, brought to the mainstream and people are, you know, ripping her a new one because of these comments. Now, again, like I said, I don't think the comments were necessarily the classiest thing to do, right, in the moment, but listening to her explanation of why she said it and thinking about the context of everything, right, the Afghan withdrawal, Biden's response to it, the Gold Star families that, you know, don't like how Biden responded to it, and the fact that during this speech, he basically brought up Afghanistan and, you know, didn't really mention those families or really talk about the withdrawal at all, but talked about his son instead. I kind of understand where she's coming from here. I kind of get it, okay? And, you know, hey, at the end of the day, you know, the media is going to do what the media do, right? Anything that a Republican says that's even remotely controversial, they're going to blow it out of proportion, right? And that is what's happening with this whole Lauren Boebert thing. It's what's happening with Ron DeSantis and his comments about masks, right? Telling those kids to take off masks. That's just what happens, right? It is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.